All right, welcome to your daily AI news digest for Friday, February 20th, 2026. And listen, today is, well, it's not just another day in tech. This is a big one. We're talking about a series of breakthroughs that are literally redrawing the map of global intelligence as we know it. This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head for what's happening. We're not talking about just another software update. No way. This is the moment AI stops being just a tool we use and becomes the actual foundational operating system for, well, pretty much everything.
So let's just dive right in. The headlines today are absolutely massive, and they're reshaping technology, finance, and even geopolitics right now as we speak.
Okay, first up, the reasoning war begins. The big tech players have just kicked off a totally new kind of conflict. We're officially leaving the era of those fast token chatbots behind, the ones that are good at predicting the next word. Now we're entering the age of deep logic models, models that can actually think. Now check this out, because this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the raw performance jump here. Google's Gemini 3.1 Pro, it's hitting a 77% on the ARC AGI-2 benchmark. And just so you know, that's a test specifically designed to see if an AI can solve brand new, really complex problems. The crazy part? That score is more than double its predecessor. This isn't just a little step up, folks. It's a gigantic leap in raw thinking ability. What's fascinating is that each of these giants is playing a totally different game. Google, they're all in on high-stakes business stuff. Think legal docs, medical analysis. Anthropic is focusing its model on adaptive thinking, really optimizing for those tricky, multi-step problems. And OpenAI, they're just chasing pure, unadulterated speed. They're making a big hardware pivot because they want AI collaboration to feel completely instantaneous.
So what does all this tech jargon actually mean for us? Well, Gemini's 2x inference improvement, that means businesses get analysis that's not just faster, but way deeper and more reliable. Anthropic's 1 million token context window, get this, that's like being able to feed it an entire company's worth of code in one go. And OpenAI slashing overhead by 80% with new Cerebras chips, that's the secret sauce that makes real-time AI collaboration feel like magic. No lag, just instant.
All this talk about hardware, it leads us right into our next story. And this one is about a deal so big, it's about to reshape the entire financial world of AI. We're talking about the $30 billion handshake. Just look at that number for a second. $30 billion. That's the figure NVIDIA is finalizing for an investment in OpenAI. And let's be clear, this is so much more than just a big check. It's a genuine tectonic shift in how power is structured in this industry. And the strategy behind this, it's kind of brilliant, really. It creates this perfect closed-loop economy. Step 1, NVIDIA puts cash into OpenAI. Step 2, OpenAI's value skyrockets. And Step 3, OpenAI turns around and uses that money to buy NVIDIA's next-gen Rubin hardware. So NVIDIA goes from being just a supplier to a major stakeholder. It's an incredibly powerful self-feeding loop. With everything moving this fast, we wanted to take a second to thank our sponsor, bestai.org. In a world where AI is basically moving at light speed, knowing what's going on, that literacy, is your single greatest asset. Bestai.org is all about providing the tools, grants, and community to make sure that AI is actually designed by people for people. So if you want to help shape a more people-centered future for all this, check them out at bestai.org. All right, so this massive consolidation of power, it's not just happening inside corporate boardrooms. It's actually starting to redraw the world map, creating what some are calling a new Silicon Curtain. Happening today in New Delhi, India has officially signed on to the Pax Silica Declaration. So what is that? It's basically a US-led tech alliance, bringing in key partners like Japan and the UK. The whole point is to lock down the entire AI supply chain. We're talking everything from chip design to engineering talent to protect against geopolitical blackmail from any rivals. But not everyone is celebrating this. The consolidation of power is setting off some serious alarm bells. At that very same summit, the UN Secretary General gave a pretty stark warning, saying that concentrating all this power in the hands of a few risks creating a digital apartheid, a huge divide between the world's tech haves and have-nots. And you could feel that tension right there on the ground in New Delhi. It was a tale of two realities. Inside the summit, you had CEOs and diplomats talking up India's human-centric Manav AI vision. But literally right outside the doors, you had protests erupting, highlighting this deep-seated anxiety people have about their jobs just vanishing because of automation. And this really brings us to the central story of AI's impact right now, this dual reality we're all living in. On one hand, you have these incredible scientific breakthroughs, and on the other, a pretty significant social and ethical backlash. Okay, first, let's talk about the breakthrough, because this is just incredible. Researchers at the University of New Hampshire used AI to discover 25 completely new magnetic materials. The implications here are just massive. This could potentially end our global dependence on rare earth metals for things like electric vehicles. It's like the AI acted as a time machine for materials science, pushing us years, maybe decades ahead in the green transition. But then you flip the coin and you see the backlash. A brand new study out of Belgium shows that some AI recruitment tools have a severe gender bias, actively penalizing female candidates. Meanwhile, journalists are basically working around the clock to debunk a flood of AI-generated deepfakes in politics. And these aren't small problems. They seriously threaten to erode social fairness and our trust in, well, anything. So let's zoom out for a second and try to put all these pieces together. Our final story today is about the almost unbelievable scale of the new global economy that's being built right now on top of this AI foundation. Get ready for this number. Global spending on AI is now projected to hit $2.5 trillion this year alone. And if you look at this chart, you can see where the money's going. Over half of it, a staggering $1.37 trillion, is going straight into physical stuff, data centers, chips, the actual hardware. What we're witnessing is, quite literally, the industrialization of intelligence itself. And even inside this huge market, the ground is shifting under our feet. Check this out. New projections show Anthropic, with its safety-first, enterprise-focused strategy, is growing at almost triple the rate of OpenAI. If that trend continues, they could actually overtake OpenAI in revenue later this year. That would be a massive shakeup to the status quo we've gotten so used to. So, to wrap up the key trends from today, first, AI models can now actually reason deeply. Second, the industry is consolidating vertically around huge players like NVIDIA. And third, entire countries are forming strategic alliances to control this tech. The main takeaway? The era of just experimenting with AI is over. We are now officially in the age of deployment at a global scale. And all of this, it leaves us with the one ultimate question. As AI becomes the basic infrastructure of our world, the question isn't if it's going to change everything anymore. We're past that. The real question now is who gets to control that change? And maybe more importantly, how are we going to make sure the incredible benefits are shared by everyone across all of society?